right, everybody. I'm super excited because we're about to jump in to some really fun information and content today. I'm really going to just reveal the whole shebang to you guys so you really get to see what does it really look like to scale my business to six figures? How do I leverage organic content? How do I bring everything together? Like Randy said, I'm the founder and CEO of Growth Loop. We help small businesses with business, marketing, really understanding their go-to-market strategy and how to connect authentically with their customers, and we streamline all of that into really beautiful and high converting sales funnels that get your products out to market and in the hands of the people that you want to serve. Okay. So let's go ahead and just set the stage for what we're talking about today. And here is some hard hitting truth. And this is the truth, guys. 86% of small businesses, meaning 86% of us, make less than $100,000 per year. So what does that mean? It means only 13% of small businesses make more than $100,000 per year. Now, if we look at that data and really ask ourselves some questions, this is what we're really going to find that most of us are solopreneurs. Most of us are still trying to figure things out, right? Most businesses, small businesses, are failing within 5 years. And this is true across all industries. So no matter where you're from, and I know we've got a diverse group today, all across the country, the world, right? Different industries, you're going to learn a lot of information that you're going to be able to apply and utilize to break that 100K mark. And if you're already at six figures, trust me, you still want to stick around because this is going to help you scale to seven figures and more, guys. So let's go ahead and jump into a couple of reasons why this is true. So why is it that only 13% of small businesses are generating more than $100,000 per year? And even though most businesses in America are small, most are failing after 5 years. Well, we've got cash flow problems. That's the typical problem that most small business owners are citing as to why their businesses fail. Then we've got market demand issues. So that's really around like, how are we positioning our products and our services to our target market? And do people actually want those products and services? And then lastly, poor planning and execution, which, if you really mind that issue a little bit further, you can see it's the foundation of all the problems that we're talking about. Ultimately, most businesses are struggling because they don't have the right offers, they don't have the right strategy, they don't have the right marketing, and all of this leads to cash flow problems. Okay, so we're going to figure that out today, and we're going to figure out how to fix that problem in our business with the right marketing systems, organic marketing, website, all different types of stuff we're going to jump into today. Okay, so it is story time. And if you've been to any of my workshops in the past, I like to tell stories. So we're going to start off with one. So I want you to imagine this scenario. Okay, you're the main character of the story. So close your eyes, whatever you need to do to get into that mind frame. But listen to this. You've spent years mastering the art of pottery. You create pieces that aren't just functional, but they're truly works of art. Driven by your passion, you decide it's time to share your craft with the world. So you set up a shop, Artisan Clay, nestled in your neighborhood, and you're hoping that you're going to attract people who want to buy your product. As you open your doors, you're super confident. I'm sure all of you remember that feeling when you first started your business. Maybe you were a little nervous, but some of you were probably really confident. You're super excited, right? Your shelves are stocked with beautifully crafted pottery. Each piece is a testament to your skill and dedication. You've even got signs and advertisements outside the shop that hopefully are going to draw the eyes of passerby. But here's the catch. While your shop looks inviting from the outside, the inside tells a different story. So I want you to imagine this. Your potential customers are walking in, their eyes are lighting up as they step through the door, only to find that navigating your shop is a puzzle. Your pots are mixed haphazardly, the pricing is unclear, and there's no one around to help or answer questions. Oh my goodness. The few who venture in wander around confused and unguided. They are interested. They love your work, but they leave without buying anything. They can't find the checkout. There's no clear path to follow, and they're not even sure if the items that are on display are for sale. That's how most people are experiencing your business. And there you are, behind the counter, cluttered with tools and clay, so engrossed in your craft that you don't notice their need for guidance. And this is the kicker. You've built a space for your passion, but not for your customer's experience. Now, here's the thing. You know your product, you understand your craft, and you know who you're meant to serve. But for some reason, most of us are struggling to convert interest into sales because the pathway isn't clear. Your online presence, which it must be the primary tool for reaching beyond that local foot traffic, right? It's like your shop. There's a ton of potential, but it's difficult to navigate. And the reason why is because you lack the structure to guide visitors from interest to purchase. And what does that do? It leaves you frustrated that more customers aren't buying your products and services. Okay. So this is human nature. When things start going in the wrong direction, most people either panic or they shut down, right? You don't know how you're going to keep the doors open. So what do? A lot of folks, in a bid to resolve all that chaos, to drive more sales, right? They go bananas. They start throwing money into expensive advertising campaigns. And I've seen this so often. It's extremely frustrating to watch, right? Hoping to lure more people into the shop. They start blasting their message across every social media platform with no clear strategy. Or, like many other business owners, you simply become paralyzed because you don't know what to do, right? Now, this scattergun or paralyzed approach to marketing only deepens the initial issue. Your shop, and by extension, your online presence, becomes a mirror maze, reflecting potential everywhere, but leading nowhere. Like, I really wonder how many of you are dealing with this right now. Probably a lot, right? You're invested in visibility, but you don't have clarity. You don't have clear navigation, right? Now your budget is strained, your energy is scattered, and your original goal of sharing your art, your value, your craft, your expertise feels more distant than ever. You're overwhelmed. And I want you guys to know this is totally normal. But here's the deal. You've got the expertise, you've got the products, you've got the services that people need, but you're struggling to attract new customers. You lose potential customers after the click. You get lost trying different tactics and hiring all sorts of characters, from terrible web designers to scammy marketers and business coaches. But none of these things seem to work out. Nothing is bringing in consistent sales into your business. Now, I wonder how many of you can relate to that. But here's the truth. I'm going to just break it down to you. You're not making any sales because your marketing is ineffective. Your marketing is ineffective because your message is unclear. Your message is unclear because you're not clear on how to communicate your value. And that's because you don't have a system. So you're doing everything because you don't know the right things that you actually need to do. And here's the thing, everything is connected in business. So I want you to take a look at this graphic, and I'm going to break this down for you because this is probably the most important graphic in this entire presentation, if you really understand what I'm trying to communicate to you. Okay. You've got three main buckets that you need to master in your business: marketing, branding, and offers. Now, these things are interconnected components that collectively determine your company's success in identifying and capitalizing on market opportunities. So I'm going to explain just very quickly how these elements overlap and interact to create what we call a compelling value proposition, an opportunity for both you and your customers. So what is branding? Branding is the identity of your business. It's what you stand for. It encompasses the values, the personality, and the distinctive characteristics of your business. Branding is about creating a memorable impression on customers and reinforcing what your business promises to deliver. It's what influences how your target audience perceives your products and services, and it sets the expectations for their experience, all of which can be showcased through your content and your messaging, which we're going to get to. Now, your offer, that's the specific product or service that you're selling, but not just that. It's how it's packaged, how it's priced and positioned in the market. The strength of an offer lies in how well it solves a problem or fulfills a need for your target audience. So you need to be thinking very, very, very clearly about whether or not you have a compelling offer that's attractive, valuable, and difficult for customers to refuse, or find elsewhere. And then marketing. Marketing is really what brings it all together. It involves the strategies and tactics that you use to promote your brand and your offer to the right audience. It's how you communicate your brand's message, showcase your offer's benefits, and persuade potential customers to take action. Effective marketing doesn't just reach or engage your target consumer, but it converts them by taking them through a process of discovery to understand how your offers, how your approach can solve their problems. Now, I want you to pay attention to this. The overlap between marketing and brand is your message. The overlap between marketing and your offers is the value that you're bringing and communicating to your marketplace. And the overlap between your offers and your brand is your relevance to solving your customers' problems right here, right now. And what is the core thing that we're trying to create? Opportunity, not only for your customers, but also for yourself. So I'm going to introduce you guys to a simple secret formula. And the reason I call it secret is because if everybody understood it and knew how to apply it, everyone would do it. But for some reason, even though this formula is simple, a lot of folks struggle with it. And that's because simple doesn't mean easy. But I'm going to reveal it to you. And I'm going to show you how I use this formula, how my clients use this formula, and how tons of other successful businesses use this formula to generate 6 figures, 7 figures, and more. And you can too. So this is the 6-figure system for small business success. Now, yes, today we're going to be diving into organic marketing tactics, but this workshop is so much more than that. Because what we're really here for is to build a comprehensive system, a complete blueprint that you can deploy within your business to consistently generate significant revenue. Whether you're aiming to generate $10,000 a month, $20,000 a month, or more, this is the system that's going to get you there. If you pay attention to high-performing businesses, this is what they're doing. Now, for those of you who've already hit that 6-figure mark, don't tune out because these are scalable strategies. And you might be using some of these strategies, but we're going to show you how to bring it all together. So let's take a look at this equation together, okay? So success, right? Which for a lot of us, we're defining that as revenue, but we're going to get into some like nuanced things towards the end of this presentation around why income and revenue are not the outcome of a business. We're going to get to that. But for now, we're going to focus on revenue. Revenue equals the right offers, a high-performing sales page or homepage, a content engine, and then a little secret sauce that I'm going to introduce you to, which most of you are actually aware what this secret sauce is, but you just might not be applying it, okay? So we're going to go through each of these, and I'm going to break down how you can leverage these components to start generating real, sustainable, consistent revenue for your business. Okay, so we're going to start off with offer. All right. Now, the reason we got to start off with this is because this is the foundation of it. Everything, not just everything, everything. Okay, everything. So you really need to pay attention to this part because if you don't have the right offer, none of the rest of this stuff is going to work. Okay. So I'm going to break down to you a simple equation for creating what we call at Growth Loop an unbeatable offer. And an unbeatable offer is an offer that your consumer market has a difficult time saying no to. They can't really find it anywhere else in the way that it's configured. But you want to start thinking about your offer almost like it's a science project. Like, how can I actually engineer this for my market? And there's 7 components to an unbeatable offer. The first component is the transformation, which I like to call it a thesis, but for this presentation, we're going to call it a transformation. Now, what is a transformation? A transformation is the end state, the end result that you are promising to your target market. So it's not just about, for instance, let's just say that you're a web designer. It's not just about designing a website. It's about designing a website that converts and generates revenue and clients. That's a transformation. Right? So you want to be thinking about what is the next level in terms of communicating what the promise is of my product and service. How can I stimulate or trigger emotion and desire in my customer so that they're going to want to buy immediately because that transformation that's being communicated to them is exactly what they're looking for. Now, just because we've stimulated some emotion, right, doesn't mean that we can leave out logic. because people make decisions based on those two factors, logic and emotion, right? So let's think about logic. That's your action plan. That's how we're going to actually get there. And generally speaking, when you've got a really powerful transformation, you might want to make sure that there are 3 to 5 action steps that you can clearly communicate to your customers so that they understand, okay, there's actually a process here that's going to get me to this transformation. But then we got to think about what's the vehicle that we're going to drive, the car, the whip that we're going to drive to get to that destination, to get to that transformation, right? Now, your business might offer a variety of services and products and offers, but you want to think about, how am I communicating the vehicle to these people? Is it a Zoom call? Is it a software? Right? Is it one-to-one sessions, workshops, videos? Like, how am I actually getting people to that transformation? And then you want to stack value on top of all of this. Like, these 3 components, you should be able to sell. But then you want to think about, what are the bonuses that I can offer to my customers that's going to get them really excited and interested in buying this, because there's even more value that you're offering to them. And then your guarantees. How do you make buying from you a safe experience? Is there a 30-day money back guarantee? Right? Is there a free trial? How are you going to create an environment for your customers where they feel safe? Hopefully, they're not going to want to exercise those guarantees, but you at least want them to be feeling secure if they're going to work with you and invest their hard earned money in your business. Now we can think about price, right? Now you can think about, well, what is the right price point? That's a high end price point for me, but a reasonable and exciting price point for my customer, especially in 2024, right? Like, people are trying to figure things out economically. So we also need to do some price engineering to make sure that the way that we're positioning price makes sense for our customer. And lastly, I wonder how many of you guys have what we call a downsell. A downsell is an opportunity for a customer that's not quite ready to invest in your primary offer or your flagship offer. Maybe they don't have enough capital right now. Maybe they need a payment plan. Maybe they need another opportunity that's more in their price range. So you always want to have those options available for your customers, just in case, because you're there to help them. You're not there just to sell them on something. You're there to help them achieve a transformation, even if you're taking them from point A to point C versus point A to point Z. Okay. So that's how you want to think about your offers. Now let's talk about the high performing homepage, sales page, landing page. There's all different terms for this, but ultimately that offer needs to live somewhere. It needs a home, right? It needs a place where people can find it, because you can create the best offer in the world, but if there's nowhere they can find it and learn more about how to access it, you're going to have a problem. Okay. So let's talk a little bit about that high performing homepage, because again, before we get into anything around organic marketing and how we can actually generate leads, we need to make sure there's a place that we can drive that traffic to, and we need to make sure that that place is high converting, that it creates a narrative of transformation, that it communicates our value extremely clearly to our target market, so that they're not just meandering around that page just like our customers were meandering in our pottery shop. Right? We're taking them through that process of discovery so that by the end of looking through that page, they're ready to book a call with you. They're ready to buy your product or your service. They're ready to take the next step. So I'm going to break down the components of that so that you know exactly what it is that you need. So make sure you take notes here. Okay. So here's the homepage layout formula, right? And this is how you create what we call conversion, right? Because I've had so many conversations with entrepreneurs where they're like, man, I'm getting people coming to my website. I'm getting 1,000 people showing up, but nobody's becoming a client. That is extremely frustrating, because it means that you've got a high bounce rate. It means that something is off with that homepage, where you might be ranking, right? You might actually be the right provider for your target market, but for some reason, your homepage where your offer lives, it is not communicating your value. So it doesn't matter how much content you generate, it doesn't matter how many people come to your site, you're not going to generate any revenue, you're not going to generate any leads, you're not going to generate any sales, because the homepage isn't structured properly. So these are the sections that you can have on your homepage. And I'm only going to go through a couple of them, some of the most important ones, but I want you all to pay very close attention to this structure. Okay. You need a header, and I'm going to explain what that header looks like. You need a hero. Okay, that's the first big, captivating section on your website. You need a problem section. You need a value proposition section. You need reviews and testimonials. You need a section where you position yourself as the guide. You need that action plan section or that how to section. You need a manifesto about your business. You might include a video, right? Maybe your product should have prices, maybe not. It just depends. You might want to add an FAQ section. A blog is a huge boon for a business, and then you might want to think about a lead magnet. Okay? So, we're going to try to figure out how to build a website, a sales page, a homepage that communicates your value with clarity. And the reason why a ton of people struggle with this is for a couple of reasons. They're on the wrong platforms. Maybe you're on GoDaddy, you're on Wix, you're on Squarespace. I don't want to hate on these platforms, right? But you've got to really figure out what's the right platform to be on, right? And where am I going to actually be able to leverage that? And I'm going to put you guys on to some ideas for where you can go if you're not happy with your current website. If you are, great, continue to use it. If you're not, I'm going to put you on to some new opportunities that you guys can jump into, right? The marketing message is unclear, you don't have the proper layout, and you don't understand design, okay? So let's just break down a couple of these sections for you so that, again, you understand and have some examples of what good stuff looks like, okay? So a header, maybe this is where you want to add a CTA. You have a primary call to action. Maybe you have a promotion. Maybe you have a time sensitive opportunity. Maybe you have a lead magnet, which is an alternative pathway to capture somebody who comes to your website. Here's an example of a really good header. So Alicia, she has a program for dental hygienists where what? She's helping them master digital scanning and imaging workflows. But in her header, right, she's got an opportunity for people to take a quiz. That's a lead magnet. She's going to be able to not only score those leads, but she's also giving them an opportunity to understand her expertise and why they need her, as well as giving her the opportunity to collect their information. And then, of course, right, in your header, you might have access points to other pages. But for most of you, you only need one page to get to six figures. I promise you only need one page to get to six figures. Now let's talk about your hero, right? That's an attention grabbing section that clearly explains the ultimate outcome of your product or your service for your customers who are the hero of your story. And in hero sections have a headline and a subheadline. So again, master digital scanning, imaging, and workflows. That's the transformation. That's the headline. The subheadline, become clinically confident in the latest dental technology and earn up to 12 CE credits with hands-on demand. Boom. She's explaining how you're going to get there and what you're going to get on top of that, right? So this is extremely compelling. They know exactly what they're going to get, they know why, and they know how this is going to improve their current situation, right? We want to capture them right at the beginning. And then you want to have a problem section. Remember, human beings are emotional. So you got to have a problem section right after your header so that your customer can connect emotionally with why they're there, right? This injects them into their own story rather than yours and sets up an alley-oop for you to slam dunk your offer. So here's an example of that, right? Are you a dental professional calling out that avatar who's stressed, overworked, and lacking in tech skills, right? You're not as productive as you want to be. You feel left behind. You have high patient no-show rate. So she's showing that she understands the problem that her customers are dealing with. That's connecting with them. It's not about her, it's about them. Because I want you guys to understand this. Your customers don't care about you. They care about what you can do for them. And that's okay. That's business. Okay. And then your value proposition, right? That's really just where you're explaining these are the benefits. This is what you're going to get out of this, right? This is where you're going to make more wealth, save more time, find more happiness, and feel better. Because people buy things for a reason, right? They're not just buying it just to buy it, they're buying it to improve their situation. Okay. So here's an example of what that can look like. Just breaking down what some of those benefits are so that your customers know this is what my transformation is going to feel like. This is the value proposition that this person's offering to me. All right, I want that. Okay. And then very quickly, just going through those other sections one more time, those reviews and testimonials, that guide section where you're explaining like who you are. This is an opportunity to explain who you are and what you do, your action plan, right? Your manifesto, which explains a little bit about your company, your pricing, your FAQ, maybe a blog or a lead magnet, right? And then here is again is an example of that, of what a blog can look like. And we're going to jump into that. We're going to jump into why blogs are really, really powerful. And this is actually a good segue into the next section of this workshop, which is our content engine. And I'm going to break down why blogs are so powerful. But part of it is blogs give your customers an opportunity to spend time with your expertise. I'm going to say that one more time. Blogs give your customers an opportunity to spend time with your expertise. And if you don't want to do a blog, maybe a workshop, which we're going to get into a little bit more there. Okay. So let's talk a little bit about that content engine, right? You've got the offer, you've got the high performing homepage, but now you got to drive traffic, right? This is where we're getting into these organic marketing success secrets. And I'm going to show you guys by the end of this a simple system that you can use to create all the content that you need to create, because you don't need that much to get to six figures. You really don't. You just need the right things, the right components. So I'm going to show you what those components are. Okay. All right. So before we jump into that content engine framework, I'm going to teach you and introduce you to something called the 7-11-4 formula. Remember these numbers, write these numbers down. The 7-11-4 formula. It's a formula developed by Google. They did countless hours of research on how consumers make buying decisions. And what they found is this. On average, it takes 7 hours of engagement, 11 touch points, and seeing you in 4 different locations for consumers to make a purchasing decision. Okay. So we're going to figure out how to start 7-11 foreign our customers. I want y'all to start using that. How do I 7-11 for these people? How do I create that 7-11 for experience? Because if you're not doing that, you're going to have some issues in terms of converting leads into customers. So what does 7 mean? 7 underscores the importance of meaningful engagement time. So it's not just about duration of time, it's about quality and depth of content delivered. Okay. So that means you want to be creating detailed content, long form content, blogs, videos, podcasts, workshops, things that people can deep dive into, that they can binge, right? Where they can connect with you and you can provide them value and information that could potentially transform them into customers. And I want you to think about this, right? If you've got that right offer and you've got that right home for your offer, wouldn't it make sense for that website, for that homepage, right? That ecosystem to be the source where you're driving all that content, where you're driving all that traffic. So I want you to ask yourself this question. What if all your content drove customers to your most powerful sales channel, which should be that homepage? So how can you do that? Well, this is where you can do it with blogs. Now, I love WordPress. And the reason I love WordPress is because it is built for the web. Okay. It's built for publishing. It's built for SEO. And I want you to think about this, like you can attract organic visitors this way, right? You can leverage your content for social media. You can streamline all this into a simple system. I'm going to show this simple system to you. It's so simple. 7 hours of engagement means create a blog or a workshop, break that down into a long form video or carousel, and then break that down into smaller posts. But you want to start here, create something really valuable first, then translate that into other pieces. Don't start over here. Don't get into that whole reel thing going on. Start here. Okay. That's your content strategy. That's your plan. Now, very quickly, you want 11 touch points, right? So all that means is in order to establish trust with people, they need to interact with you in a variety of ways, whether it's your email newsletter, your webinars, personal meetings, and you want to diversify that so that they can, again, engage in discovery for their decision-making process. Because if you serve people and help them win, you're going to win, right? So how can you create more touch points? And then 4 locations. Listen, I know we're all busy. We can't be on every social media platform, but we want to start thinking about how we can show up in different places, social media, people's emails, on our website, right? Events, other people's podcasts. Like, how can I create that effect so more people are interested? Okay. But the key is start with one channel first, right? Don't get all caught up in everything. Just start with one channel first. Okay. Now, lastly, I'm going to show you guys a little couple of things, just some secret sauce, right? And you guys have already heard about this stuff, but when you have this set up, now the secret sauce starts to make sense, right? And the first ingredient, because there's 2, is this SEO for growth. But I don't want you guys to get like confused by SEO because everybody's like, what is SEO? How do I actually do it? All it is optimizing your content and your brand for search so that you pop up when people are searching for solutions. That's it. But you can think about SEO across your business? Are my products optimized? Are the titles of my workshops and my content optimized? And there's tons of ways to do this well. There's plugins on platforms like WordPress. There's artificial intelligence to help you search for keywords, right? You can listen to your target market so that you understand them a little bit better and what they're actually searching for, right? And then there's tools that you can use. Ahrefs is a great tool, a little expensive. SEMrush, another great tool. Answer the Public is a little less expensive, right? But these are all things that give you insights into what your customers are actively searching for on the internet so you can position yourself properly, right? And then there's other platforms like vidIQ that can help you with video. And then the last secret ingredients, okay? And I'm gonna tell you this, you're on it right now, and it's workshops. It's workshops, y'all. I promise you. And the reason workshops are so great is because they help you to 7-Eleven for your audience, right? I love workshops. I do workshops all the time. Why? Because they create value, they showcase your expertise, they help you build trust, and they accelerate your content engine. But you got to get the other components down first before you just start doing workshops. And your workshops have to be valuable and structured in the right way so that you can deliver value to your customers. Okay. So let's just look at this one more time, right? Success in business is the combination of that right offer, that high performing sales page, that content engine, and that SEO, and maybe throw in some workshops. Because ultimately, the combination of these things, especially if you've got the right offer, this is what's going to drive calendar bookings. This is what's going to drive more sales. And here's the thing, sales lift after doing all this. So if you're getting sales calls, but you're not closing them, I promise you, if you implement this system, you're going to get more sales, right? Because when people see your value, when people know you, when they like you, when they trust you, when you're able to take them from top of funnel awareness to the bottom of funnel, that's where you're going to get conversion, right? But here's the thing about sales, which we don't have time to jump into during this workshop, but we will in another one. Sales isn't what you think it is. It's not about getting people to buy things. It's about serving them and helping them to discover an opportunity to transform their situation. Because the reality is this, the outcome of a business isn't income. The outcome of a business is impact. And the byproduct of impact is income. If you move forward with this framework and with that mindset, you're going to be perfectly fine. But Randy, thank you so much. I'm going to punt it back to you. I think we're going to have some time for questions. Um,
Yep.
Congratulations, guys. That's your six-figure system for success.